This is a painting worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Morgan calmly walks up to it, in full view of everyone. He removes the painting and walks away. The next second, the alarm goes off. The police quickly move in to surround Morgan, but he doesn't panic. Instead, he offered to hand over the painting and let it go. When they got to the interrogation room, Morgan looked like he didn't have a care in the world. He preempts him by saying, "Tell your boss to come and see me now." The police were stunned. "What? You've stolen a painting and you want to see our boss?" At this point, Morgan handed over a business card and said he was a security expert. He then asked the police officers in return, "Why is there no protection for such an expensive painting?" The policeman panicked. He hastened to explain, "We have high-definition cameras in this gallery. Every 20 seconds, we scan the entire gallery. Not even a fly will be spared." "I see." At this point, the police officer didn't know. Morgan was no expert in detection. He's a thief. The purpose of his visit was to find out what the security holes were in the gallery. The next day, his accomplice Mickey puts on a fake mustache. He entered the gallery disguised as a tourist. Another accomplice, Stacie, dressed in a checkered shirt, accosted the police to distract them. Mickey took advantage of the 20-second gap in surveillance to do his job. He used a tool to quickly remove the famous painting from its frame. He then affixed the fake painting he had prepared. It's all done in one fell swoop. At that moment, the surveillance was turned around. He was unable to capture his crime. Stacie saw that he had the painting in hand. She pretended to go to the toilet. Mickey had already hidden the painting in the bathroom. When Stacie gets to the bathroom and removes the painting from the door, and quickly put it on her clothes, just in time to be perfectly replaced. When she's done, she leaves the gallery with a flourish. The police didn't notice anything unusual, and so it was. The painting, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, was easily stolen. Then a few people approached a top forger and asked him to create an exact copy of Mondrian's painting. How to create a painting worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The following materials: a brush from a toilet, a dirty canvas, and a river in the desert, sand from the ocean, and paint with high levels of lead, and finally, a can of expired canned food. After gathering all the ingredients, the master counterfeiter said, "In a week's time, an exact replica of Mondrian's real work." It looked even more like the real thing than the real thing. The master counterfeiter then began to create the work, and the reason the gang of thieves went to such lengths to defraud one of the richest women in the area, because her greatest passion was to collect Mondrian's works. But there were a few key words to be addressed. How to get the rich woman to take the bait. The men came up with a brilliant plan. First, they spread the word online like crazy. The news that someone was going to auction off Mondrian's relics. When the news is all over the internet, they find a journalist to do an exclusive story. But the journalist wasn't stupid. She kept asking Mickey about the details of the painting. Luckily, Mickey had a miniature headset. The team was able to get by with a little bit of frantic off-camera research. In the end, Mickey managed to gain the reporter's trust and got him an exclusive story. As soon as the rich woman got the message, she came to the door. She asked Mickey to bring the real painting to her office for an appraisal. If the painting was genuine, she would pay $50 million for the painting. It was a fake painting worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Everyone in the room mistook it for the real thing. The rich woman said that if the painting was real, she would pay $50 million for it immediately. She then asked her team of experts to start testing. After a preliminary examination by the team, the painting was 90% similar to an early work by Mondrian. It was almost certain to be authentic. But there was one thing that was suspicious. Because Mondrian's family was poor in his early years, he could not have painted on such an expensive canvas. So the painting was most likely a top-quality forgery. The gang of thieves panicked. That's when Lucy, the journalist, speculated Mondrian could have been hired to paint the painting. His collaboration was terminated. But he couldn't throw away such a fine piece of fabric, so he used it to continue his work. Well, that sounds plausible. So if that's the case, there should be another painting hidden on the other side of the painting. And so the rich woman put the canvas into the detector. After some examination, there was indeed a painting of a landscape on the underside of the canvas. The rich woman was stunned. She immediately decided that it was the real painting. She then asked two angel children to pay $50 million to Mickey. Then the group found the master forger and gave him the agreed payment. But the master changed his mind on the spot. He wanted to take all the dirty money for himself. He said he'd report them if he didn't. but Mickey just looked at his watch. He walked calmly to the door. As soon as he opened the door, 2 police officers arrived just in time. Mickey had expected the master to defect, so he reported the master in advance. Now he's caught with all the evidence. The master had no choice. He could only sit in his chair and wait for the law to take its course. The TV series Hustle was considered one of the world's most iconic crime mysteries, with its multiple plot twists, coupled with clever scams. It certainly gets the viewer's blood pumping as they dive into the action. Well, that's it for today's story. If you like it, please follow and leave a comment. See you next time.